So, hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and this is episode number 66. It's called Knowledge this week because there's been a lot of things going on this week. It's Friday, the 1st of April 2022. Let's jump straight on in. So yeah, hi everybody. I hope you've had a fantastic week doing whatever it is you've been doing, whether you've been working, taking some time off work, or doing some studying. There seems to be an awful lot of stuff still going on at the moment. You know, we seem to be ramping up quite significantly with things in work, with the learning content. Obviously, it's coming to the end of a financial year, into the new financial year for a lot of businesses. So there's always a lot of activity floating around and lots of things going on, new releases, this, that, and the other. So hope you're doing well. Try not to burn out. Remember to take a breather, sit back, relax. Try not to overload yourselves because obviously there is so much going on again still at the moment, whether it be in the community, whether it be tech work. There's just an absolute fountain of knowledge that we can tap into to kind of get on with our daily lives at the moment. So yeah, it's not been too dissimilar for me this week again with the MVP Summit. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Well, as much as I can talk about, of course. But yeah, let's just jump straight on in anyway. Let's get on with it. So yes, MVP Summit has been this week, and it's been a fantastic week of learnings. Not a lot I can actually talk about from a tech point of view, other than it's been my first MVP Summit. It has been virtual. As I understand, the summits are usually held in person over in Seattle. But obviously, because of the pandemic, it's been a virtual event this year. But it's been phenomenal. It's really been really well organized. Lots of great sessions, some really great interactions with the product groups across the various technologies. And I kind of took it as an opportunity to kind of delve into some of those areas that, look, I don't really catch up with on a daily basis. So I've probably watched a fraction of the content that was created, but over the last 3 nights, I've managed to watch and consume as much as I possibly can. Thankful that things are going to be available for playback and rewatch, which is great. But as Tiago points out here, that you get awarded an MVP, you get invited along to take part and watch and consume the MVP Summit. You can't tell anybody. You're on an NDA. So, I mean, there's some really cool, interesting, great, fascinating areas and advancements that are coming up with, the fraction of the sessions that I actually managed to consume over the last few days. So, like I say, it's just great to be part of it, I guess, as an MVP. I still pinch myself that I'm kind of held in the regards of that kind of circle of people. It's been a fantastic, first experience, I guess, of the MVP Summit. Like I say, it's, I'd like to think in-person events would be that little bit more special because you're actually there able to interact with people face to face. But certainly from my experience of the last few days with the MVP Summit and the content that's been created and the way it's been organized, it's been phenomenal. It's been really good experience. So like I say, that's probably as bad as much as I can really talk about at the moment. Just the overall experience has been great. Overwhelming to a certain extent because, hence the title of this video of knowledge, is that you are kind of bombarded with all of this knowledge about products and services and features and upcoming things that are going on in the world of, not just your specialism, but right across Microsoft. And there's a lot going on. So, look, like I said, I've just been privileged to be part of that this year. Looking forward to the coming year. Like we all know now, we are at the end of that financial year for a lot of companies. There's lots of noise, lots of movement, lots of announcements, and lots of work going on. So the only thing I'll say is just remember to take a bit of a breather, because certainly with everything that's going on, it's quite easy to become overwhelmed, I guess, and burnt out. So if you are feeling a little bit like that, just do yourself, get yourself some time, sit back, relax, take a breath, try and disconnect away from tech and community if you need to for as much time as you need. Nobody will think anything less of you for doing that. I think you just got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself in that regard. So Anyway, it's been a fantastic week. Really looking forward to kind of some of these announcements coming out into actual real life, as it were. Yeah, that's about all I can mention for the time being. So let's move on. Yeah, a little bit of an announcement here, a little bit of a teaser, I guess, from Adam. Microsoft Build is so bookmark the dates 24th to the 26th of May. They've got a global event running, which I'm presuming is going to be a virtual event, but they've also got a special UK developers focus day that's going to be running alongside it. So, going to be interested to see how that pans out. So, yeah, you can head over to the mybuild.microsoft.com website. I'm not sure that we can actually register or anything just yet. No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe I'm missing something. No. So we just got a holding page for the minute. So the 24th to 26th of May, Microsoft Build. Yeah, we've not really got a lot that we can do with that at the moment, other than just bookmark the dates. It's going to be a fantastic event. I mean, typically as a developer, I've as a non-developer, I should say, I've never really taken part in the build sessions, but certainly from my perspective, a lot of the areas I'm working with are starting to, the lines are getting blurred, very blurry at the moment. So I will be taking part and signing up and getting involved with the build session. So looking forward to that. Got a little bit of time, 6-7 weeks or so. But yeah, bookmark those dates. Yeah, one of the things that caught my eye, certainly over the last few days, was around Meta and the metaverse, I should say, and what's going on with IoT and digital twins. So Olivier Bloch has obviously retweeted this post from the IoT blog website, which is really around how let me just get rid of that, how the digital twins technology can actually keep data history in place. So you can kind of do this thing called rewind the metaverse. So you can go back in time. So assess and visualize digitally modeled environments as they change over time, which is quite a cool concept and certainly an area of technology that I think is going to become quite prominent into the future, is being able to model those physical environments in a digital space. So going to be keeping an eye on that. But yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention, Olivier. I'm going to take a little look at that video there, rewinding the metaverse with data history for Azure digital twins. Just go and check that out. And sticking with that kind of augmented reality theme, this caught my eye from Lee Engelstone last week. I mean, Lee has always been up to some great little ideas and tidbits with augmented reality and using the developer kit to make these cool applications. And you can see here that if you're on the social media, you'll know that you've got this chirply kind of social influence circle that kind of you can generate, and you can see who your closest followers and interactions are with. And Lee actually made this into an augmented reality little app. As you can see, that's controlled with facial expression, facial movements, and it kind of just gives that that sphere of influence, all of Lee's kind of closest followers and interactions on Twitter. So shout out to Lee. He's always doing some great little things like that. And yeah, it's really fascinating, making me want to get into more areas. This is the thing, isn't it? You just want to get into these areas that I just don't have the time. More time, please. So yeah, shout out to Lee. Go and follow Lee. Hit him up if there's any questions. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to have a chat. Yeah, big shout out to Azure Pirate. As you know, I've had Dan McLaughlin on an In Convo with. We talked about Azure Pirate. It's doing some great things at the moment. Just a bit of a retweet and a re-mention of the service that Dan has put together around kind of it's about collating some great resources, and when people post blog articles and YouTube videos, things like that, Azure Pirate is a bot that will retweet and kind of help further the reach of some of that content. So if you're interested, head over to Azure_Pirate on Twitter. Drop Dan a line if you want to get your blog or your YouTube added to that, and yeah, it'll hopefully push out the reach of your blogs if you're just getting started. So thanks for that, Dan. And final mention this week, the Azure User Group in Sweden is kicking off tomorrow. They've got Chris Reddington on tomorrow to talk about deploying static web apps to Azure the cheap and the performant way. So Chris is always, giving fantastic talks around tech. So go and check that out if you can. It's on tomorrow, Saturday, at 12 Central European CST, so Central European Standard Time, I think that is. So go and check that out. Go and get signed up, and obviously give them some support. So for now, that's been the community callouts for the week. Okie dokie. So yes, quick mention of what we got going on in the Welsh Azure user group. So yes, our next virtual meetup event is on the 20th of April, where we've got the amazing Keith Atherton and Anthony Mashford joining us to give us two fantastic talks. Keith's going to talk us through around how we prepare for Microsoft certifications, and then Anthony's going to come and join us to talk around deploying enterprise file storage into Azure. So two great sessions. Please do head over to the meetup page there, RSVP. Help us spread the word, especially if you are in the South Wales and surrounding areas. We really want to try and spread the words locally. Please help us do that, because we want to try and get as many people down to in-person events into the summer as we can. So for now, that's what's going on. So yeah, join us on the 20th of April for our next event. And yeah, let's just move straight into what I've been up to this week. So yeah, again, like I say, there's lots going on, and to be honest, there's so much going on at the moment. I'm finding that I'm kind of forgetting about things that are going on, which is not great. But I guess it's just going to happen because there is so much going on. So what have I been up to over the last week or so? Let's just go and have a little look see. So yeah, first of all, big shout out to BetaBit for sending me this care package off the back of me appearing on the Beta Talks podcast with Rick and Oscar last week. Great, you can't beat a strop waffle. So a packet of those, mug, some stickers, pens, and a rubber ducky. So yeah, big shout out to BetaBit for that. Thanks so much for sending that care pack out. If you are interested in that podcast episode, then head over to betatalks.nl, podcast.betatalks.nl. And it's episode number 26, where we kind of talk about innovation using Azure and lots of the kind of serverless components and things, and AI and cognitive services and bits and pieces that you can actually consume and use in the cloud. So yeah, head on over if you are interested. Take a little listen to that one. In other news, Silver Linings Runbook podcast, the podcast that I sit on with James Storr and Dan Stradlin. Episode 8 is out, where it went out last week. We've skipped a week or so because we've all kind of been pulled off into different areas, as you do with work that kind of gets priority. So episode 8 is up, where we kind of talk about James's experience with SQL Bits, config manager, and of course fuel prices. We can't ignore that one. So if you are interested, head on over. All good podcast apps on your phone. It's on Spotify, iTunes, the podcast app on iOS, all of those kind of things. So go and give us a search, Silver Linings Runbook podcast. Yeah, great to be involved. Okay, so In Convo With, yes, big shout out to Mark Doiker. Last week was my guest on In Convo With. Great conversation, really interested and exciting guy to have on and talk about all the great things he's doing through community. So it's there available to watch. If you missed that episode, please do go and give that a little watch. But it is Friday, so we've got another episode coming out tonight, and it's with none other than Mr. Chris Ayres. So there were some audio issues on this one, I'm afraid to say, but I've watched part of it. It's watchable, but yeah, really gutted that I got some echo coming across on that episode. But it's going out tonight. At 6:30 p.m. BST, because we're into British summertime, British Standard Time, British summertime, whatever we call it these days. Yeah, big shout out to Chris. Thanks for being an awesome guest. Go and check that out, 6:30 tonight. Yeah, drop us some comments on, let us know what you think. And in other news, I've got the first live stream of When Ops Meets Dev is going out tonight at 5 p.m. British summertime. So you can see it's a bit of a global event. We've got Robbie based over in the East US and Swami based in India. So we're going out, we're doing a live stream on architecting and kind of building a cloud native e-commerce solution on Azure. So if you are interested in that, we're starting off with the kind of first concepts around Docker and containerization and what it takes to kind of do those initial first bits of getting some code and building it into a container app so that we can deploy it into Azure. So join us tonight, 5 p.m. BST, if you're interested. It will be a live stream, which will be quite interesting because I don't do too many live streams. So join in the fun if you want to come and follow along with the journey. This has got the potential to go on for a relatively significant length of time, because we're planning on doing a series every 2 weeks, but only for 2 weeks of the month. So the first and the third Fridays of each month, I believe we're going to be doing this live stream. But like I say, only 2 episodes a month. So there might be weeks where we skip a week. So yeah, looking forward to that. Going to be exciting. Go and sign up RSVP if you can, and join us for the fun this evening. Okie dokie. So yeah, that was our what I've been up to for this week. Okay, we're going to head on over now and find the Azure news and updates for the week. There have been a significant number of news and updates. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yes, and welcome to the Azure news and updates for the week. Like I say, there have been a significant number of updates, well into the 30s this week. So I've had to kind of cherry pick a few of the updates. Just first off the bat, there have been a lot of announcements where there's VM sizes that are being retired. So there's probably about a dozen or so different VM types. So head on over to the Azure news and updates if you want to take a look at that. I think it's the NV range of VMs. So go and check that out. But we'll kick things off anyway with general availability of Azure Batch supports Spot virtual machines. So Spot VMs are available as single instance VMs normally, or within scale sets. So you can take advantage of Spot virtual machines surplus activity in Azure, and you get unique pricing and benefits when running Windows Server workloads on Spot machines. So Batch is now supported to use that kind of spare capacity in VMs. You get a significant discount when you kind of use that. Like I say, the downside is that it is spare and non-utilized capacity within certain VMs. So of course, if there are paid for either reserved instances or fully fledged paid for VMs, they do take precedence, and on occasion your Spot VMs may become unavailable, but that's why you get them for a cheaper price. On-demand capacity reservations for Azure VMs. So that lets us deploy and manage the compute capacity required to run VMs separately from the VMs themselves, but to run Azure VMs separately from the virtual machines themselves. This new feature enables your IT organization to reserve compute capacity for a VM size. The reservation can be for any length of time or in any Azure region or availability zone that supports most VM series. So you can create and cancel an on-demand capacity reservation at any time. No commitment is required. Okay. GA, Azure Bastion native client support. With the standard SKU, you can now connect to your target Azure virtual machine via Azure Bastion using Azure CLI and a native client on your local machine. You can log into Azure Active Directory joined VMs using your Active Directory credentials, cool, and access the features available within your chosen native client, things like file transfer. So you can go and learn more on that one. So yeah, just a little bit more there, expanded on on-demand capacity reservations with Azure Site Recovery safeguards for VM failover, which is cool to see. And we've got another J announcement of copy data directly to archive storage with Databox. So you can now use Databox to copy data directly to archive tier blobs in Azure Storage. Indicate your intent to move your data to archive tier while ordering Databox in the Azure portal. When the Databox arrives, you'll access its local UI. You can copy to the blob archive share and shown under your storage account name. And you can also copy to archive tier using the Databox's data copy service. Okay, the new Azure Front Door, a modern cloud CDN service, so content delivery network service. So the new Azure Front Door is a Microsoft native unified and modern cloud content delivery network, catering to dynamic and static content acceleration. The service includes built-in turnkey security and a simple pricing model built on Microsoft's massive scale private global network. There are two Azure Front Door tiers, Standard and Premium. They combine the capabilities of Azure Front Door Classic and Azure CDN from Microsoft Classic and attach with Azure Web Application Firewall, those WAF policies. This provides a unified and secure solution for delivering your applications, APIs, and content on Azure or anywhere at scale. So, yeah, that's quite a cool service that has now gone GA. So they combine those two classic services, wrap some WAF policies in there, and you've got a new Azure Front Door and with a modern CDN. So cool, go and check that out. Public preview, Node Auto Drain for AKS is now in public preview. We've got Azure dedicated host support in AKS is in public preview. And we've also got capacity reservation support in AKS in public preview at the moment. This one caught my eye, and it's something that I want to look into a bit more. So we got an Edge Device Image Builder. So Edge Device Image Builders allow OEMs to build secure devices, easily create Azure connected devices, and build more reliable devices. So I'm absolutely going to go and check that out. That looks like that could be something cool. That's in public preview at the moment. Another GA announcement, Azure Data Explorer supports conditional access, which is cool to see. So if you do use that particular piece of software, you can now wrap that in conditional access. Yes, this one was quite an interesting one as well. Bring your own IP ranges to Azure. So when you're planning any migrations of on-prem infrastructure to Azure, you may need to do that. For certain applications or services, you may want to bring your existing public IP address range into Azure. For various reasons. So today, Microsoft are announcing, this is yesterday, that general availability of the Bring Your Own IPs to Azure. So public IP ranges can be onboarded to Azure as regional custom IP prefix resources where they can be utilized in the same manner as Azure-owned public IP prefixes. So great to see that's out in GA. So if you need to do that now, you can. Great work. Generally available Azure Stream Analytics in 10 new regions, and there they are. Good to see. And finally, public preview Azure Arc integration with VMware vSphere and Azure VMware Solution. So Arc is kind of getting into everything at the moment, which is cool to see for that hybrid workload kind of perspective. It's fantastic to see the advances of Azure Arc. Even more so now that we can integrate with the VMware Solution and vSphere as well. So great to see. And that's it. That's it for our news and updates this week. Thanks for tuning in. So there we go. I think, thanks everybody for sticking around and watching this episode. Like I say, I'm thinking about changing these weekly episodes up as we go on now. I'm up to episode 66. There's lots going on, lots of other bits and pieces going on across the community that I think I'm going to focus on. So yeah, any ideas or comments or things that you feel that you want to push my way, please do so. Hit me up in the comments below or DM me over the social medias. But for now, thanks for being awesome and staying tuned for this episode. I'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da for now.